everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Full Court Cleveland from the Big Play Studios in Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Rafa. I am joined by Mr. Sam Amico, and thanks to the Cleveland FBI office, Cleveland police, lost and found, and everything else, we are no longer boobyless on the show. Mr. Booby Gibson is here, and that's why I'm wearing my retro booby hoodie here on.
See, that's why I left for a couple days. I did not like how I was being treated here. So
How are you, man? How you doing?
I had to take a vacation. I had to get away from Sam. It's great to see you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I had to get away from Rob for a couple days and do some recruiting. You know, get out here. The high school season started.
Oh, that type of recruiting. I thought you were talking about something.
Yeah, man, I gave up. I'm gonna let God find love for me. Were you talking about that type?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's just me trying to do it myself. So I just say, let go and let God.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are you, Sam? I don't know how to follow that,
That's
man.
good philosophy. It's a good philosophy.
Yeah,
I'm doing well. You know,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Are you still keeping faith like Booby?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta. What else we got?
Well, we got a full show prepared for you guys today. We are full here in Full Court Cleveland. Mr. Producer, always producing Ryan on the other side of the lens, of the glass, whatever you want to call it. But today's show, we're going to break down some Cavs headlines. We're also going to do our weekly power rank presented by our friends at Garage Beer, who also presents Booby Chair. And we'll take a look at some of the top stories around the association. But first, the Cavs lost to Portland last night at home, 122 to 110. And the producer, not Ryan, but the person in charge of writing this, it was one of the ones that said the regular season don't matter. And what they're asking me to tell you and ask you guys is like, should we get worried? Should we be worried now? Last night was the first time the Cavs lost a game to a team with a losing record. They were 9-0 to begin with. Another game, Booby, we haven't been whole in terms of our roster. You know, no Jared Allen, even though we won the battle of the rebounds. What's your take on what's going on with the 13-10 Cleveland Cavaliers?
Well, you know, the last thing I'm gonna say is worry, right?
Yeah.
We cannot worry this early in the season. You touched on it a little bit. We've had we might have had the most different starting lineups, right, in the NBA when you think about that, right? And then even last night, what I thought was great after the game, I saw my boy DG getting shots up after the game. So what I need the fans to understand is these are the dog part of the season, the dog years of the season where you got to grind your way and figure out your identity, right? But what I do want to see is us find that togetherness, that joy. What I don't feel right now with the guys, and maybe it's because we haven't had a consistent lineup of our guys that we're used to, but I still want to feel the energy of just joy and freedom on the floor. I feel a little bit of press, you know, and so I just think it's the early part of the season. Guys are in different roles and positions trying to figure it out. But I feel like there has been some bright spots too.
At the end of the day, it's a marathon, right? And with 23 games into it, okay, it's kind of like a quarter of the season, and I think it's hard to make a good judgment, Sam, on a team that hasn't been whole. No Max Strus. We have lost Sam Merrill, who had a really good start of the season, then and got hit with a hip injury now with his hand. You know, Jared Allen with the fingers. I'm still thinking ever since he got married, Jared Allen has been having problems with the ring finger. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
Yeah. Both fingers.
I'm not saying that, but again, your take on the 13-10 start. Yes, there are things that, like I said before, every single person in that locker room knows they have to work on to get better. But that's the thing. We continue to get better, and we continue to work on those things. But your take on the 13-10 start.
This is the time of year where you figure out what's going on wrong, and you work to fix that while not losing sight of the stuff you're doing well. Listen, the Indiana Pacers started 11-15 last year, right? We all wrote them off. I did, 11-15, and then what? Game 7 of the NBA Finals in Oklahoma City. So there are 60 games left, 59 games as we sit here today. I think once we see this team whole, I feel as if Darius Garland, obviously playing pretty much so far every other game when he gets to play, when he's healthy enough to play. I think a big part of that will him getting his rhythm back. Yep. That's going to be a big key. I think that helps Evan Mobley having Garland out there, but Jared Allen being out there too is going to help him. So these are the things that, yeah, it's not Kenny Atkinson sat after the Portland loss, sat there and said, look, I kind of knew that we were probably going to have a little bit of a rockier start just going into the season because we're integrating some new faces, and we've had some serious injuries that have held guys out. So level of concern, not even close there.
And the thought of this movie is also that the time that Tomlin, that CPJ, and even Tavares have been able to get on the court might come back and help the Cavs down the road. But having said that, a lot of the difference in these games that we have lost, and even on the ones that we have won, is the fact that our bench, because it has been depleted by using them as starters, have really not been putting points on the board. They've been losing the battle of the bench. Is that something that you can directly relate to the fact of they've been shuffled around, or is it something that again, I don't want to use the word worry, but it's something that the Cavs need to work on in terms of just having production coming off the bench?
For sure. Well, I think that's kind of what Coach Kenny was alluding to. When guys are out, that means now the power that you had coming off the bench is starting the game. And so now you're getting these guys like I'm so proud of Jalen Tyson stepping up and basically claiming his spot in the rotation. And so now when you get everybody back, now when we talk about that bench scoring punch, he's a part of that. When you have Sam coming back, we don't right now, we still wouldn't even know how Kenny wants to go with the roster in terms of these guys. But what I think he's starting to notice is that punch that we had last year is still there. We just don't have the full regimen, the full squad of players to really see it come to life.
And the way the game of basketball goes, even for those humans like us, that Sam and I, at least, that can actually play it at a level that Booby did, is that sometimes the ball wants to go in, and sometimes the ball just doesn't.
And that's when the
DG had one of those nights. Between him and Mitchell, they were 4 for 21 from deep, and those nights happen. And again, there's no level of worriness here, just more level of working on things that we need to work on. And we're going to talk about that when we come back, the recent struggles and what's coming up for the Cavs when we return on Full Court Cleveland.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows, energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. Booby, Sam, and Rafa with you, and Ryan on the other side of the glass. And we're talking about the recent struggles, quote-unquote, by the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 13-10. And just to put things into perspective, that those same people that are asking me about when or how or why we should be worried are the same people that are saying that the regular season doesn't matter after the Cavs didn't get their 10th loss until March of 2025 last season. So your level of concern, we talk about it. And again, I used to hate this. The season ended today because it was nonsense until 2020 happened and the season ended in March. and that's how we were out of the bubble because we were not in the playoff if the season ended that day. Right. But right now we'll be seeded 7th, Sam. And again, I don't mean to keep beating on the same drum, but 10 losses on March 15th last season. We're 56-10 when we had the same loss. You can't compare those two seasons, even though Oklahoma has been able to manage to just continue for last season on, and it's like the same. It's like there was no off season for them.
Well, with the Cavs, you have these 5 guys that you knew were going to be pretty much your starters, and maybe 6 if you throw in Max Strus and DeAndre Hunter. Kind of alternate in that small forward role. But you knew the other core 4 who they were going to be. And now, you start the season missing an all-star point guard, which really impacts everything you do because a point guard's a quarterback, right? And you don't have your guy, and it's not like it's just a point guard. He's an all-star last year, and that really rotates everybody. So everybody's shifting into new roles because you don't have your point guard and the way the offense runs. That said, defensively, when you don't have Jared Allen out there or, you're missing Sam Merrill's been a good defender the past couple of years, and Max Strus. I mean, these guys are all parts of your heart and soul, right? So, yeah, it's true. If they were whole and 13-10, and then I might be a little concerned.
Of course.
But right now, I can't. I think there are some things that need fixed, and I think they would quickly admit that. You know, our energy level has to be better, our determination has to be better. But, you know, I'm not getting a sense of any kind of panic or concern internally from the team themselves. So it's a different season. And you know what? This race is probably going to go down to the last week like it's done for the last 3 or 4 years when you're talking about seeding for the playoffs.
I mean, I wanted to jump on what he said because I just think about Portland walked out of here last night proud of beating us. And I think we got to understand as a team that the ESPNs of the world, they all posted us as like the team to beat in the East. So all these teams coming in here like
the measuring stick.
Yes, sir. Like, this is my opportunity to beat up on the Cavs and say we ready to contend. And so I think we got to understand that even though we might not have felt like we finished the way that we wanted to, we still made a statement last year as a team that's on the rise. So teams look at us as with a big target on our back. So we got to play with that chip. That's all.
Well, and for those that are worried that were telling me that the regular season didn't matter at the beginning of the season, and now they're worried after 23 games, on paper, the Cavs, after not making the NBA Emirates Cup Vegas trip, after losing in Atlanta, on paper, they got kind of like a good thing coming because we get an away game against Washington, who is in the cellar of the league, and then we got a home game added because the teams that don't make it to Vegas get two games added, one away and one home, and then the ones that get eliminated in the quarterfinals play each other. So we get away for the Wizards, home for the Hornets on 12/14. For those of you guys writing down, 3:30 start at Rocket Arena. What's your take on that? Is that something that you just take the draw and go with it? But those are the dangerous teams as well. Again, teams that want to grow, teams that want to show that they're actually making some kind of improvement.
Yes, sir.
And what better way to do it than against the Cavs?
we should. I mean, but we should be one of those teams. We should be one of those teams hungry to get better, hungry to use these games as a way to find rhythm. Right? We think about Darius getting games now where he can get an opportunity to get more shots, get an opportunity. And I just go back to watching him at the end of the Portland game when we were doing some things on the floor, and he came back out still in his uniform shooting shots. To me, that shows a level of care and commitment to the goal and what we're trying to do. And so, I'm not worried about these guys, and I'm happy that we get those 2 games added so that we can continue to throw guys out there, throw lineups out there. I don't want us to be peaking right now. I don't want us to be at a point where we feel invincible. I want to see every chink in the armor. I want us to find every hole that we need to plug so that when it comes the end of the season,
It really matters.
There you go. The cylinders are rolling, and whoever wants to come see us, they're gonna have to beat us. I like that a little better.
And it's the question that would you rather be playing in Vegas or playing with 2 bad teams? But the question for you, Sam, is also, is this like a get right time for the Cavs? I think the NBA, I don't know if purposely or just by a good stroke of luck with creating these tournaments, have created like breaks in between the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for sure, this tournament, this week coming up with the teams are in Vegas and there's two game, it's like a week of 2 games added.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a welcome break for these teams that don't even get a chance to practice. Now you start looking at the rest of December and January when you get to the All-Star break in February. And then you get to fix all those little kinks in the armor that you're talking about before April 15 comes, which is not only tax day, but it's playing time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So is that a good way to look at the season?
Yeah, I remember last year the teams that made the advanced to Vegas or whatever were complaining because, Doc Rivers was kind of jokingly complaining because the Bucks were in it, and he's like, all these other teams are getting to work on themselves, and we're gonna go play games because you do. It's almost like you get
practice.
You get a little mini training camp right in the middle of the season, and the Cavs are probably that's great for teams like the Cavs or other teams that have injuries that can use that time to heal up a little bit. Now I see Giannis Antetokounmpo's out for another 2 to 4 weeks, so teams like the Bucks are going to benefit by that.
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was terrified. I hate when I see that step and I see guys kind of pop off that step.
I was worried about Mitchell the other night again.
I'm telling you,
Those non-contact injuries.
No contact injuries are always scary, but it's not an Achilles. It's a good. Back to the point though that
not good. But
I think it's a
And
nice break, and a team like the Cavs could certainly use it.
And I gotta tell you, Booby, you mentioned the injury, and we never wish bad or harm on anybody. We wanna watch the best players on the court, regardless of what color uniform they're wearing. But those calf injuries have a tendency to turn into Achilles, because that's how Halliburton was starting to. He was playing with a hurt calf. So I'm pretty sure the Bucks are gonna be very careful about healing that leg for Giannis.
Absolutely. Fact about me, a lot of people question or wonder, like, what happened to Booby? Like, why did he retire when he did? So I broke my ankle in my left foot, and then when it was coming back, when that was that year for me to find a team, that's when the calf strain happened, the knee happened, and some of what the doctor tells together. Some of what the doctor tells you in that moment is the risk of you still playing is that popping, and then you know having to go through that process. So a part of my journey of trying to figure out was I going to extend my career was if I still wanted to play ball with my son in the future.
Booby didn't want to work like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. Like,
no, I'm telling you.
Little hub in there.
You get a little tender. It was a little tender back there. So I understand the precaution, and I think back to that KD moment, man. It's just it's a tough thing.
That's the other one, too.
It's a tough thing that these guys, and like you said, these are the guys that you want to see on the floor, but we have to, protect these guys' career because we want to see them play for a long time. So I'm just glad to see that wasn't as bad as I may have thought.
Well, speaking of the break, the Cavs have 2 games coming up, and we'll look at them when we come back on Full Court Cleveland.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Welcome back to Full Court Cleveland, and I am with you. I am also signing the petition for Ryan to start putting Christmas jingles on a show.
It's that time right now. It's that time.
Hey, come on, man. You got to have a little spirit. Yeah. We are heading towards the holidays, and whatever holiday you celebrate, we wish you all a happy end of 2025 and the best 2026 to come. But speaking of people coming into town, Rocket Arena will be hosting this Friday, December 5th, the Spurs of San Antonio, Wemby-less. Speaking of injuries and speaking of making sure that the future of your franchise stays healthy or doesn't come back with any little, thing. What you take on the Spurs now that Wemby's going to be out?
They've been playing very well without him so far, and that's just, I think that when they had him in there, you saw the first couple weeks of the season with him in there, and I'm like, oh, they're going to be a problem. I mean, I knew they were going to be, but I was just like, this team looks like it could challenge with. He's gone up another level from what I saw last season, and he was good last season. But I just thought this guy's going to be in the NBA MVP conversation. So when he goes down, I think it maybe was just a mental thing, an emotional thing with those guys. The rest of the team is that we like this feeling of winning. It's kind of new to this group of Spurs. So they're very dangerous with or without him, have been playing well, and they're right in the race in the
15-6 as we speak, Booby. 7-2 in the last 9 games, and without Wemby, who is rumored to be coming back on December 10th. What can the Cavs do? What should they work on? What should take on this game on Friday?
Well, I jumped out there early, and I said the Spurs was my dark horse because I'm a Wemby.
That's the Texas in you.
He's a Texas guy.
Man, my boy was in the Monk Shaolin Temple, I believe, this summer. He was doing all of the work, but I saw the love and the passion for greatness and legacy, and you can just never count out that Spurs culture. Even though Pop isn't the guy there, he's still there, and his hand is still in everything that they do. And that's, I think, what we're seeing now as far as those guys still being able to keep that train rolling without Wemby there. And I think, again, for us, it's just another opportunity for guys to step up and understand we're still just trying to get better, 1% at a time. We ain't got to do no more than that. And I think against San Antonio, a team that's playing well, that's young, that's aspiring, it's a great opportunity to let a team know, like, nah, whoever's in the game, we're going to step up tonight and play the game the way we're supposed to.
So I have a question for Booby Gibson here before we go. Booby, if Thursday and Friday are December 4 and 5, what is Saturday and Sunday, December
6 and 7.
I got it to say it.
I fell for the easiest. Only because I think it's 5 and 6 is Friday or Saturday, so he got me.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not right.
I just did that to second graders at a school here in Cleveland.
That show you how easy it is.
I thought that they were talking about the holidays. But Sam, December 6th, part of the 6th, the Warriors are coming into town, 11-11.
Yeah.
And they're rumored, every time you open social media, they're rumored to be getting everybody that is available and that could help him get better. Even Seth Curry made his debut with Steph rooting from the stands. What's your take on a team that, at the end of the day, I don't care what happens, but the Cavs and the Warriors will be tied forever because of those 4 straight finals they play.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, they've lost 6 of 7. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
There we go. A little spice in that thing.
Oh, my God.
Amico.
Like, I'm prepared.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But they, listen, this is a team that obviously probably entered the year with the oldest starting lineup in league history if they had started Al Horford. And they're still dangerous, but, it's different now, obviously, with Steph's not going to be playing Saturday night. We don't know about Jimmy Butler, who's, I think, maybe missing the game in Philadelphia. He had a knee thing that kept him out the second half the other night. So, yeah, the rivalry is not there, so to speak, especially without Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry comes to town, but they still got Draymond, and Steve Kerr's still the coach. So, anytime you're playing a team like that, that's, again, what Booby was saying about the Spurs without Wemby is sometimes the next man up really wants to prove himself. So you've got to be concerned because they're one of those teams that the Warriors that we saw this against Oklahoma City. They got down by like 24, came back and cut it to 2. They're one of these teams that could go either way.
It's been 10 years, Booby, since the Cavs and the Warriors played in 2016 finals, and the Warriors that year won 73 games, beating the 72-win Chicago Bulls. But, like I always like to say, 73 don't mean a thing without the ring. Hey, don't blame me. Curry, Draymond, and Kerr are still there.
Right.
Our side is a completely different team, but still proud to be part of the 2016. I'm still here.
Absolutely. That banner still hangs. I got a ring out of the deal, too.
Wow.
little jewelry. Yeah. But I think, obviously, like Sam said, without the guys being on the court, the rivalry itself, I think, dies. But just everything that came with it, the banner's still there, the energy's still there, Kerr's still there. You still feel some of the moments. And I think the team that we have now is trying to ascend and be a team that can get to that level. So this Warriors team is just another test. But one of my questions is, I wonder do we feel, I know when they're together they've been dangerous, but is Jimmy the piece for them? I'm like,
It's hard to tell. He's from Texas, so, he's got to be something okay with him.
The guy that come in and do it, but I don't know if I feel like that was
You could be asked the same question with Kevin Durant. It's like, where are they the piece of?
Well, hey, now, if we're going to go to number 35 now, I feel like he is the piece. He's done it. What do you mean? He was the piece that won a championship for a team. What do you mean? You can say they can do it without him. You can say all of these things, and I'm going to hold my guy down every time. But if he don't walk down and hit that tray at the top of the key, if he don't walk down in there, everybody cannot walk down.
LeBron, too.
Everybody cannot walk down in that moment. So I cannot downplay his greatness just because he slid over with some guys that could play too. Yeah, that makes it easy.
You're right, Booby. We'll forget that he went to a team that beat him coming back from down 3-1.
Hey, you still got to walk into that shot.
It's okay. We'll be back. You know what? Speaking of rivalries,
you still got to make it.
We're going to come back and talk about our power ranking, the rivalries in the NBA when we come back on Full Court Cleveland. They did blow a 3-1 lead.
I'm leaving again. I'm going back on vacation. 2-week notice.
Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. Booby, Sam, and Rafa. And it's time for our power ranking that is brought to you by our good friends at Garage Beer. Remember, Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors. Classic light lager, in kind of like retro light lager now that because Booby's here, and lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs, just beer flavor beer. Find your local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. And it's been quite a while. We're talking about rivalries, the Cavs and the Warriors. I think the NBA has rivalries that are more like in the moment, in the generation, in the era. Other than the Celtics and the Lakers, we are going to power rank the best rivalries in the NBA. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but
Probably not.
well, not. No, but I'm saying, other than that one, which one is one that is there all the time?
Yeah.
Nah, this is great conversation because I was gonna leave it ask you guys because I think the difference in the rivalry is the way the game is played.
Yeah.
It's just not.
That's what I mean. It's the moment. It's not.
But it's just it was hands flying. It was people cheer. It was a lot different energy that described the rivalry. Now, you know, if a team beats
The
you
Bulls
twice,
Pistons for one.
I want to see some jerseys get ripped. I want to see some people get thrown on the floor. But I guess it's a different age. So I was gonna ask y'all like what teams. I have one in mind, but I'm curious what y'all think is rivalry right now.
Right now, I mean, I think that the Celtics and Lakers are always going to be rivals regardless because they're 2 of the oldest franchises. I think the Celtics and Sixers are always going to be a big deal when they play, right? I mean, they've been
But
around
is it a
forever.
rivalry right now?
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
that if Celtics and Sixers were on, you'd think that's a rivalry game.
That's what I mean. Like just
Like
because
Celtics,
the Sixers
Knicks.
aren't great.
Celtics, Knicks, that could be. I mean, those are ones
good
that
to watch
stand the
that,
test of time. Ones that are current today, I think I'd have a harder time filling out my 6-pack with those because
That's why.
I mean, the Pacers and the Bucks were starting to look like it. You know, with all their kind of we get
Halliburton
chippy every
arguing,
time they
yeah.
play, but
Yeah.
right now the Pacers are a shell of
just-
themselves.
Don't think that even like the Cavs and the Warriors who play 4 straight finals, it is not a rivalry
It's
right
just
now.
that-
It was just like for that era. I
Me too.
remember growing up in New York. You know, Bulls, Knicks, of those playoff teams with the Knicks wearing black sneakers.
You know what's missing? It ain't no hate.
No, they were just hard-nosed basketball.
You know what I'm saying? Those guys really didn't like each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They weren't cool. Like right now, everybody, they go hang out in the summer. They cool. They want to work out
Having
together.
dinner the night before.
They got handshakes with the other before the game started with the other team. So it's just a different era of basketball. It's not as much. It's a couple guys that still try to.
Can
hold
you
on to it.
imagine Bill Laimbeer and Larry Bird just doing the
You know what I'm
same?
saying?
Like,
That's why it's hard to have
like
rivalries.
the only one that I can remember of that symbolic matter is Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, like
right.
saying hello to each other. They grew up together, and
then
they
right
kind
after
of
that,
it
they
was
was Magic
But-
was trying
but
to take him
but-
out.
But then they got into it in the finals.
Yeah.
I remember Jordan and Danny Ainge used to always go golf together before games and hang out, and then they'd get into the game and scrap.
If you know, that's
Yeah.
Pau
Miller,
Gasol
like
about his
Miller and
relationship with Kobe.
Miller and Jordan, what'd you say?
Pau Gasol and Kobe. Remember in the Olympics when in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
play of the
like
game,
those-
Kobe just steamrolled
It's
him.
a different mentality.
And that was
So,
it. The
when
goal
you-
was in the American hand.
Yeah, when you talk rivalry, I started thinking about, a couple fights, just that energy of like me really not liking you. And I don't really feel that, around the NBA. I was gonna throw one at you. It's not a rivalry, but I just like to grind your gears when I think about just that. I would love to see in the playoffs this year that Rockets OKC moment.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love to see what that can
Yeah.
cultivate in,
Yes.
a series.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a rivalry because they haven't had enough action. But I feel like it get a
What do
little.
you think? What do you think is the reason though why there's not, for example, Boston and New York in baseball, right? That's
Yeah.
a rivalry that just keeps going no matter
We're
who's
too
in the
nice.
franchise.
We're too nice. The,
Huh?
the NBA too nice.
But I'm
I
saying
agree.
like there's no regional like rivalries. Like I remember, for example, Spike Lee against the Pacers and the Knicks against Pacers, and
Yeah.
that's a rivalry that kind of like mellowed down until the Pacers came back to play the Knicks in the playoff, and Reggie was in
Halliburton hit him
the
with
commentating shit. But
Yeah.
I remember when they were going like Cheryl.
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
makes
my
the,
God.
that makes the games
Yeah.
fun when it's
Yeah.
there, when you feel that energy.
No, and I think the NBA is missing that. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, in their defense, are like the classiest group ever. They don't taunt, they don't do it, and they're 21-1, and they don't. You would never know it because just the way. And I mean, there's that's admirable. There's a lot of honor in that, but there's also like, okay, come on, we need some.
That might be
some
that might be the
scrappiness.
recipe.
How much-
Maybe the recipe is to go in there and rough them up a little bit.
How much,
that might be
Booby, is the changing of the rules, and how much is just generational for the way the players are now?
It's exact. I would go with the rules. I would go with us not being able to be physical on defense allows a guy that can shoot the ball 20 times a game. Wow, I can't talk noise to you, and I can't put my hands on you or bump you or foul you, because now you're going to draw fouls, and now I'm going to piss you off, and you're going to end up with 40 or 50 on me because the rules are in your favor.
Yeah.
I just think when they took out the physicality of the game, it just changed the defender's ability to be mad, to be aggressive. Because as soon as any guy that does that, either they teched up or they out of the game for fouls, because guys draw fouls now. So I just think
Fine.
the way the game is played, I just think somehow we got to find a way, because we don't want it dirty. We don't want guys getting hurt. But to me, the best part about competing was competing. It was getting between the lines and saying, no, you're not getting nothing on this side.
Yeah.
But the rules didn't help you beat me. You know what I'm saying? It was mano y mano. So I think that's what the game is missing right now. And I wish we could find a way to get it back.
Well, we have good news and bad news here in Full Court Cleveland. Good news, we found Booby. Bad news, we still haven't found the Infinity. So we're still going around the association on foot when we come back on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. It's time to go around the association because, after all, we're a basketball show, even though we come from one of the most beautiful cities in the United States. Speaking of Cleveland, Ohio, beautiful weather today.
It's a winter wonderland out there, Rob. I don't like the sarcasm in your chest.
Yeah.
Like
Man,
that.
I drove my
In the
wife to the
winter
airport this morning at
wonderland.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Ooh, no wonder I never see the sunrise. It's cold.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Well,
it'd be cold, yeah.
Speaking of the matchup that Booby wants to see, one of them is the Rockets against OKC, and I mentioned before that I'm surprised how much they've been able to just get back on the saddle and run with it. 21-1, the record for the Thunder of Oklahoma City, the free throw shooting Thunder of Oklahoma City. So are they a threat to beat the 2016 Warriors?
Yeah.
73 wins?
Yeah. I mean, if they keep playing like this, they're winning on the road, which is a big deal, especially early in the season, because teams are kind of like, well, road game, it's October, November, we're going into play. But I mean, the thing I've noticed about them too, on back-to-back nights earlier this year, they beat the Lakers or the Warriors and the Lakers on back-to-back nights, and they shut down and made Steph Curry miserable.
Yeah.
And then the next night, they shut down and made Luka Doncic miserable. And I'm like, that is their MO, is they kind of just, they dare the refs to call it. You know what I mean? They're so physical. It's like, you're going to call a foul every time down the floor? Go ahead. That's fine. And they don't.
Well, they're getting called on the other end, so that's cool for them.
That's, well, yeah, Raf, I know your feelings
Booby,
about that.
What's amazing to me is not only they're having fun. Obviously, when you're winning, everything is so much fun. Food tastes better, jokes are funnier, and all that.
Sure.
But the thing is also, like, they've been doing the resting of players, too. They started this streak with some of their big guys out, and it doesn't look like it makes a difference.
That's the part that's mind-boggling. You'll miss a guy like Chet missed almost the whole season last year. And they still were the number one seed. It doesn't. Lou Dort, Jalen Williams just came back. And it's just like they just reload and retool. But you said it, man. The way these guys commit to each other and play defense, they grab, hold, reach. And I just love the fact that it just seems like one team, one dream. Like one band, one sound. What was it, Drumline? Even when I see them guys do their interviews after the game and they're together standing behind each other, it's when you have that camaraderie, I say that word a lot, every game becomes a new game because now every player on the court, you don't care if Shea gets his 30, 35. Whoever's rolling that night is going to be that guy. And that's when everybody on the team is outside of themselves. And that's why I feel like they have a chance to go back and, get that 73 because, even when you try to throw the health in there, you try to throw the luck, the defense, these guys bring it on all levels. And with you add the youth, how long are we going to have to deal? The question is, how long will we have to deal with these guys in terms of an NBA? Like we have to challenge these guys because right now I feel they feel and think they're invincible.
And they have the Clippers draft pick.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that was a perfect segue from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah. They have an unprotected first-round pick
from the Clippers.
Who just got, I want to say got rid of, but just cut ties with Chris Paul after he announced that he was coming to LA to play his last season. Yeah. And at least, what's his name? Frank?
Lawrence Frank?
Lawrence Frank was nice enough to fly to where the team was to have a one-on-one with Chris Paul to let him know. But it was announced like at 3 a.m. I know it's West Coast time and all you wanted, but like, what's your take on all that going on with Chris? He was apparently, and again, this is just allegedly, he wasn't in speaking terms with T. Lue. He was criticizing management and what do you know? What's basketball?
I can tell you this.
What's your website?
Hoopswire.
What does Hoopwire know about this
you
drama?
Got the scoop over there, Sam. You got the
well, I don't know if it's
Sam?
This isn't really inside information, but I can tell you this: T. Lue doesn't play,
right?
Because if you look,
T. Lue what?
He doesn't play. Because if you look at his time in Cleveland, right? Andre Drummond, goodbye. Kevin Love, goodbye. J.R. Smith, goodbye. Now, I know Love was J.B. Bickerstaff, but that was kind of like the T. Lue carryover. He was a guy who was...
Didn't take any.
No. It's like, and love it or hate it, that's the way he operates. And if you're going off what he's trying to do and implement at all, or sometimes... I don't know if this is always the case, but younger coaches who are former players, sometimes I think the players feel like, well, we're kind of peers, and a coach can't allow that, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe that might be the case with T. Lue. But it was, it was Chris Paul being authoritative, and right or wrong, it was rubbing some guys the wrong way. And he was, knowing Chris Paul, he's just trying to be a leader, right? But it was
not the right leader at the time.
Right.
So I don't know. One of the players on the Clippers told me Chris Paul was in the locker room giving one of his speeches, and he said all I could think was, sit down, you're washed. And I thought, wow, Sam, he lost the team.
The last thing you could do as a player is when you can't get out there and do it. The last thing you can do is tell them how to do it. You can give them a little bit of tips on how to play hard, but when you start trying to act like you can do it instead of them, that's when it becomes a problem. And then I think about how he probably was talking the same way in San Antonio last year, and it was fine, right? You got young guys, everybody trying to learn and get better. But now when you go to L.A., a little bit of a different story. You got one of the oldest teams in the league.
You got Kawhi. You got
these
Harden.
These guys ain't trying to hear that, especially if I think the other game you play 43 minutes and you don't really give us nothing. It's kind of hard for you to be that guy. So I got a Chris Paul story that kind of explains that, but we ain't got to go into that. But ninth grade, man, this guy was just basically I was there and he was on my team and he was trying to coach me the entire game, like. I'm balling, but he trying to tell me how to. So that's just been Chris Paul, man, his entire life. And I think it rubs some people the wrong way, but it's also the reason why he's one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. You got to be an asshole sometimes.
Yeah.
Chris Paul is probably one of the most infamous ones.
Yeah.
The things that we could be talking about is that trade has been allowed by Mr. David Stern.
From to the Lakers with Kobe. Was that the Kobe era?
No, wasn't he supposed to be in one of the LA teams and he got shut down?
The Lakers, I believe, because it was going to go from the Pelicans when they were, or it was the Hornets when they were in New Orleans.
When they were in New Orleans.
Yeah. Wow. It's going back a ways.
Stern, kind of like back it down.
I think about the Kawhi moment. It's the one that get me because he asked for Paul George and didn't want to keep Shea. That was the whole reason why it happened.
And then he goes, now you
and
see,
now they go
you
win the
have Shea.
championship, and they got the picks, and now the Clippers are just.
And the Clippers are going through a time right now where they're in the new arena, but they're also being investigated by all that.
Yeah, and it's being
The
investigated.
payroll situation.
Yeah.
You know, they're one of the worst teams in the West Coast right now with a ton of money.
The Clippers,
So
the Clippers gonna clip it.
it's a really bad situation in terms of especially what's going on with a guy who wanted to retire as a franchise, and again, we don't know anything details to say he did this or he did that, but from what you hear, it wasn't a fun.
The tough part is the fact that he's a legend, you know,
Yeah.
and a guy that did so much, created Lob City, created all these moments for your franchise. The least you could do is find a respectable way to kind of figure out.
Not the middle of the night.
You know,
And I gotta tell you something from my experiences here in Cleveland. T. Lue is not the guy that you disrespect.
No, sir.
No.
Because he's the guy that actually gives the respect out to the players and everything. So So when I heard that he wasn't in speaking terms with T. Lue, I knew there was something really big friction going on in there. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do our favorite segment, Get Off Topic, and talk football and baseball with Bobby Gibson when we come back on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back, everybody. Down the stretch we come on Full Court Cleveland, and we're going to go a little bit off basketball topic. The World Cup is coming up to the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. You guys soccer fans at all? Don't tell me you're falling asleep.
Oh, my
on the
bad.
World
What
Cup.
happened?
God, that's like the Super Bowl on steroids times 10.
See, you got
Don't tell Larry Nance Jr. But I'm not a big.
You got to take me because I just.
The draw.
I see the arenas when these things happen though. Looks
It's nothing compares to it.
Looks amazing.
It's
The draw
crazy.
for
I
the
don't know
tournament is coming up on Friday.
When
And
is the tournament?
The tournament will be taking place in June.
Okay.
The June 19th is the final when Argentina is going to be playing to defend the title. But
I've watched one of those.
they're going to
games.
do the draw, and what it is they have different groups. I think it's like now it's for the first time it's like 32 teams, if I'm not mistaken, and they have different groups, and they pick like the top level teams are the head of the group. Look at Bobby, he's falling asleep on me, and so. I gotta go to a football game with you, a soccer game, like you guys call it.
Yeah.
And so you can see the.
I'm just messing. I would love the
It's the
experience.
Super Bowl and the Final Four together on steroids times 10.
But do they score like 3 points?
It doesn't matter. It's
If
still a
they're
good
lucky.
game.
It's
Have you
like
ever been
one.
to a, have you
It's
ever
like
been
one.
to a 1-0 baseball game?
And it was
Jack
not a
Morris
great- it
threw
was not
10
a-
shutout innings playing against John Smoltz,
I'm just telling
and that
you.
is one of the most exciting baseball games ever.
I'm just. It wasn't. It,
I know,
it
but
probably would've been exciting to me for
basketball American side that you like
Nobody-
scoring.
Yeah.
Nobody hitting the ball. It's like
No, everybody touches the ball. The ball doesn't stop moving. That's the thing.
right. So everybody in the outfield just hanging out. Everybody in the bases just hanging out, and my guy just whipping it past everybody. Where's the show? Just my guy.
So it's the ball, how the ball gets from one end to the other, man. And
I
then the
got you.
goalie every now and then will make a big kick. I can't believe I'm not.
No, I was talking about the baseball. You got to show me about the soccer. I'm still open to soccer, but
Yeah.
I saw a baseball game when nobody got hits, and I was ready.
It's a great game if there's a no-hitter.
Do you like hockey?
I love hockey.
See,
It's a little
I
rumbling.
like hockey, but
Hockey is soccer in a smaller field.
right with sticks.
You could throw hands. You could
I'm
rumble.
I'm very untrained eye in hockey.
It's
But
not
every
kinda
time
like
I
the,
watch a hockey game and they score a goal, it looks to me like it was like almost
Here
like
you
an
call-
accident.
here in
Like
the
there's just
US
a bunch
you
of
call
pucks
football-
or sticks around the net, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, it went in.
Yeah, and then
Here, how about this? In America, in the United States, you call football a sport that is played with your hands,
Yeah,
and then you call soccer football.
yeah.
So maybe will you guys come with me to a game?
I would come with you too.
I would
I
for
watched
sure.
Argentina, whoever they played in the finals. Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched
that
that
was a great game.
because my son wanted to watch it, and he was all
That was a
into
great
it,
game.
and I was like,
I just spent a whole
This is
2 days
exciting.
with the Argentine Federation in New York, talking about coming into New York and promoting the sport and making the game grow. You guys are the first two candidates to.
Yeah,
I
we'll help
I
out.
poke fun, but I would love to come and just
Yeah.
really get some of the culture and the experience though.
yeah,
All right, there you go. Okay, everybody, remember Booby and some of our legends are on Legends Corner before every home game at Rocket Arena. Spurs and Warriors coming up, completing the trilogy of West Coast opponent at Rocket Arena for this homestand. Sam Amico, Booby Gibson, yours truly, Rafa Hernandez Brito on the other side, always producing Ryan. See you next week on Full Court Cleveland.